Welcome to the Baker's edition of On Top the Cage. It is week 13 in the National Football League. We are back to our normal shoot day, which is Wednesday. We're also back to our normal two-man booth.
Yeah, it's getting a little crowded in here.
It was. That was 2 weeks in a row. We had Mark the Mechanic, who was a wild hit, and my father-in-law, Tom, he left on yesterday morning. So it's funny, though, when he left. When he and when he comes for the holidays, he stays for the holidays. He'd been here probably for a solid 2 weeks, and whenever we say goodbye, and it was before I went to work, like around 7 a.m., I do this handshake thing and then a hug. That's what I do in regards to like saying goodbye to people and things like that. At least guys, anyway. So, but when we were doing the hug portion of the program, he goes, "I'll see you in a couple of weeks," and I went, "Damn." That's pretty quick. So when he comes for holidays, he comes. So he'll be here certainly a week before Christmas. We'll welcome him back with open arms. And he stays for a hot bit. So I think he had a good time here. It went as forecasted. There was a lot of Hallmark movie watching on the couch with my wife, and I think they enjoyed it. So anyway, we had a great Thanksgiving. How about you guys?
Oh, ours was awesome. Mine was.
Yeah?
Me and the dog.
That's right. Your wife... When did your wife Tammy leave for Florida?
She got up at 5 in the morning, Thanksgiving morning, and her and my daughter left at like 5:30 to go to Marco Island.
Thursday morning?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
She's out. Well, I'm sure she got some sun. Do you have good weather?
Yeah, good weather.
Well, that's good. We had a great time. I mentioned it on week 12 that I go down to Dayton where my sister-in-law live. We played the games as forecasted as well. The stump game was a big hit, and I wasn't really very good at it. After a lot of drinks, my hand-eye coordination, I guess, isn't as good as I thought it might be.
The stump game. Did we talk about this?
I think so. Well, I briefly mentioned it.
Did we talk about it on last show, or do we talk about it not on air?
No, I don't know. I think we did. We mentioned it, but I didn't know what it really was. But it's a stump, and you put your nails in. I'm not sure we even play the game properly, but you put the nails in. Everybody has their nail, and you try to eliminate the other people. But you got to flip the hammer in the air. You catch it, and then you swing down at the nail. I think I was swinging too hard. I'd go up on one foot. I was terrible at it. So I think you got to be more reserved.
And this is a drinking game?
It is.
You're flipping a hammer.
And if you do 2 flips, you get 2 swings. Bang, bang. So,
whoa.
My brother-in-law...
Were you doing this in the dark?
Yeah, there was some light. It was dim. It was in the garage. There was a lot of drinks.
Did they bring a piece of wood in?
Yeah, stump.
A stump.
I got plenty to bring. I'm gonna congregate again with my family the week before Christmas. That's part of our tradition, and we all our families go our separate ways.
Dude, we're gonna have to do that on the show.
We can. We have plenty of stumps back there. I've had plenty of enormous trees fall, so maybe I should bring one in and dry one out. Yeah, I probably should dry one out. So.
And the hammer has the claw on the back side?
Yeah. Hammer.
Holy hell. And nobody was bleeding during this game?
Nobody. There was people out there in flip-flops and things like that.
Get the hell
Nobody
out of here.
lost a toe or anything. No ER visits, nothing like that. Yeah, it was
we
clean.
Need a stump and some nails.
Played a game called...
Do you have a hammer here?
Yeah, we have a hammer.
All right.
You want it now?
No. I just wondered,
we have lots of hammers.
Because Teddy said 6. You were a tool. I just wondered.
That may make the program.
I wondered if it was a hammer. Or a sledgehammer, maybe.
No, yeah. No, I got better at it. At first, I was struggling even to catch the hammer, but then I got that part of it down. But hitting the nail is another thing. So I'll practice. We'll be...
Hell, hitting a nail, just freaking hitting it. It's hard.
Right.
Couple drinks, flipping the hammer.
Lots
Holy
of drinks.
shit.
Flip the hammer, one motion, bang.
Oh.
And
yeah, we got to try that.
If you kind of graze it, you get sparks. Everybody drinks. There's quite a few rules involved in the game. So
nice.
But we went through quite a few nails, and we're all getting better at the game, I suppose. So I don't know. Calendar flipped. It's December 1st. It's Wednesday. You got a Christmas list, Dan?
No. Whatever.
Me neither.
I'm easy.
You're easy?
Beers, T-shirt, whatever. New hat.
In the exchange up here, I drew Katie's other dad, Poppy, he's affectionately referred to around here. So he's easy too. I know he's got a couple things on his list, but I mean that guy's like alcohol, cigars, and nuts. Yeah. If he need filler gifts, those are it. So
there you go.
All right, we'll be good with that, I'm sure. So Let's do beer review. I'm ready. Unless we got
ready.
more to talk about in the intro. Beer review. It comes from the Roke Brewing Company. It's out of Michigan, Dan.
Oh, shit.
It's called Roke because it's out of Royal Oak, Michigan. I have no idea where Royal Oak, Michigan is, but it is, and we had this issue last year on the show. It is St. Nicholas Day coming up on this Sunday. And Dan didn't know what the hell St. Nicholas Day even was, but here at our house, it's, the stockings are hung, and they get little shitty things in their things. They get like a hat and chapstick and candy and things like that. You guys do not do?
No.
St. Nicholas
No
Day,
one's
yeah.
at our house. It's me and my wife and the dog right now.
Yeah, Dan's an empty nester. I'm not there yet.
Yeah, no, St. Nicholas bringing me a beer. I'll be drinking in the morning.
There you go. Little St. Nick Cranberry Ghosts.
The can is pretty cool, and you probably can't see it on the
I'll put it up
show,
front.
but it's like, what are the... I mean, it's mixed in there, but there's Santa on a hot rod sleigh.
I know. I was going to say hot rod sleigh. He's got headlights. It looks like a big
he's wearing
engine on it.
sunglasses.
Yeah, that guy's a character. It looks like one of those things, those maze things where you got to run the pencil and get out. Yeah, there's a lot going on here. I'm opening up. Is it going to be red? Uh-oh, I hope it's not frozen. Oh, no, we're good.
It's not frozen. It's like 40.
Oh, shit.
Oh, it does look pink, though.
Way overheaded it. That's a problem. Oh, for love of God.
Oh, my God. It's total cranberry.
So tart.
Is it a sour?
It's a tart. And I jacked up my thing. That's going to take a hot minute.
It's definitely sour.
You like sours?
I like sour, but this
You
one
like
is
this beer?
really, really sour.
Like I completely jacked up my thing. Like that's going to take like to the 4 p.m. games on Sunday to go down.
That's because your goofy brother-in-law wanted you to have a glass.
It's 4.2% alcohol, so it's not too heavy.
No.
That's notes. It says notes. Dan doesn't take notes for the show. I can't read that. My eyes aren't good enough for that stuff. Can you read the notes?
The notes.
It says notes.
Oh, it says tart. The tart intensity of this beer submits
insane.
to a light addition of a pink Himalayan salt.
Himalayan salt. Don't mind me if I have like a mustache going on after this. I think if you put salt in this stuff, I've learned that trick at the bars. Oh, that makes the head. I don't need any more head. A little Freudian slip there, maybe. Oh, speaking of other football stuff, I read an article on CBS Sports today where November was the worst month for football bettors out there, as 60%, which is a really big number, the dogs covered the spread. Wow. A lot of people like betting favorites, and the dogs controlled November.
Really? I think November was my best month.
And yeah, I think it was. Dan is creeping up on me. Might as well get to the results. Dan last week went 6-9. He's 79-101 on the year. I went 4-11. I had a horrible week. I'm going to admit it. 83-96-1 on the year. Dan is creeping up on me. Do you recall who your elephant pick was last week? I went with the Rams. They got beat soundly by the Packers. That was another loss. I vow to do better.
I don't recall. Where's last week's board?
At the office.
Oh, wow.
We're on to football. Thursday night football.
Wait a minute. Aren't we going to talk about all the craziness in college?
We will. By the
or are
way,
you going to say that for the end?
I'm going to save it for the end. We are going to pick 4 college football games. It is conference championship week. It's going to be an awesome Saturday of football. I'm totally looking forward to it. Hopefully I clear the schedule completely and can just hang out and drink some alcohol and watch some good football. But we're going to pick all 4 of the conference championship games that matter, that are going to influence who's in the Final Four or in the playoffs. So we got quite a few games to get to. With that being said, I think there's 4 teams on bye, so we got 14 National Football League games.
Yeah, my team's on bye.
They are. We got 4 professional or 4 collegiate football games. So we got 18 games to go through here. It starts with Thursday night football. It is the Dallas Cowboys travel in New Orleans. Dallas is a 4.5-point favorite. The over/under on this game is 47.5. Dallas 7-4. New Orleans 5-6 on the year. Important games. I mean, that NFC East is tightening a little bit. Dallas used to have complete control over it, and they haven't been playing well lately. And they come off a loss on Thanksgiving to the Raiders. It was an
You get two of their
entertaining game
weapons
for
back.
sure. I mean,
Both receivers are coming back.
Cooper's off the COVID list, and CeeDee Lamb's back. Is that
Yeah.
right? Yeah, I mean,
Taysom Hill's playing quarterback.
for New Orleans, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the Dallas defense is back to being bad. McCarthy's not going to be the coach. He's COVID.
Oh, that's right.
So
Yeah.
I think Dan
So,
Quinn is going to assume the reins for this game on Thursday night. New Orleans comes off a game that I thought they were going to be in on Thanksgiving as well. It was a loss to Buffalo where they just got beat up.
They look bad.
They looked really bad. Obviously, they're playing with second, third string quarterbacks. I don't know if you want to call Taysom Hill the second string or the third string.
But hell, they paid him enough money.
He did get a good contract. He's a different kind of quarterback for sure. I've referred to him as a kind of a Swiss Army knife before. And you don't know if the guy's going to be running the ball or slinging it or what he's going to do. I mean, it's certainly something you got to scheme against. Dallas is a 4.5-point favorite going to New Orleans in this game. Dan, what do you think?
You go first.
I'm going to take the points with the Saints.
Damn it. That's
It's
what I was
Taysom
gonna
Hill
do.
playing and him adding that element of a physical runner at quarterback, not just a dude who's going to, fast. And, I mean, he'll take on tacklers. He's not afraid to do that. So I think it's a difficult scheme, although Dallas does get their playmakers back. I'm going to take the
Is
points.
Kamara
I like to be a
back?
close game. I think Kamara is going to be back. So is Mark Ingram, I think. We got a lot of people coming back for both these teams.
Man, usually you suck picking the Thursday.
I
game.
hate it. I get Thursday night wrong all the time. It puts me in a bad mood. I'm on the Saints, getting to 4.5.
I was hoping you were going to take Dallas because I wanted the Saints.
We're not competing against each other. We're trying to give good advice.
I know, and you usually pick the loser. But I want to pick the Saints.
Then pick them.
All right, then I'm taking the Saints.
Book it. Book it. Dan and I are both on the Thursday night game. I think we got a winner there. I like that game to be close. I don't know if New Orleans wins that game. I think it comes down to the wire. I like it to get under the 4.5. The Sunday 1 p.m. slate will start with the New York Giants traveling down to play the Miami Dolphins. The Giants are 4-7. The Dolphins are 5-7. Giants. They come off a win against Philadelphia at home, where I'm a little bit shocked by the result. And
Shocked, too.
Philadelphia was playing well. They were running the ball like over the top of people.
And then they stop running the ball. Huh.
Yeah.
What other team do I know and root for that does the same dumb shit?
Dan's Browns team
Can't think of it.
are not on the board this week as they are on bye. However, he wants to talk about them a little bit. It looks like Daniel Jones is out.
Yeah, with some kind of neck thing.
Yeah. And speaking of necks, Mike Glennon will be the quarterback that plays for them, who's got the longest neck since Merton Hanks in the National Football
Merton
League.
Hanks.
Remember that guy?
Loved it when he scored a touchdown.
He used to
Pick
wear
six.
turtleneck, I think,
Yeah.
just to try to make his neck look shorter.
Yeah, it hurts my neck just imitating him.
Wait till you see Mike Glennon. He has the same neck as Merton Hanks. I don't know why I'm picking on people's physical features. That's not cool. That's never cool. In any event, I don't know how that thing's going to run. Kitchens is your offensive coordinator
Oh,
over
yeah.
there. Dan has
Freddie
a little bit of a
Kitchens,
disdain for
baby.
him. Let's talk about the in-laws team, the Dolphins, who are playing really good football. The defense has kind of hit their stride. They're 5-7. They come off a win against Carolina. I mentioned their defense hitting a stride. I mean, they smothered Carolina.
Yeah.
They really did. Tua's playing pretty well. I heard Tom, before he left yesterday morning, stomping about Tua and his stats, and, hey, he's pretty good, and this and that. Maybe the jury's still out on him. I think Miami's coming around to them. And they get, and Tom also pointed out to me, they get back-to-back New York teams. They get the Giants this week, they get the Jets next week, and then I think they go to Buffalo. So
they're in the state of New York
They're-
3 weeks in a row.
they're 5-7. They're home this week. I expect them to be 7-7 after they play the Giants and the Jets, which will be
Yeah,
super
really.
exciting for the in-laws. And my brother-in-law Kevin and Billy and Tom, they all root heavily for them. I think Grant does as well, even though he's an Atlanta native now. So I'm looking forward to that for them. I think they're going to be 7-7. Miami's 4.5-point favorites at home in this game against the Giants.
Even though Tom didn't have the chili that I personally delivered to him, I'm taking his team.
That's right, Dan. I don't know if we mentioned it on the show.
We did about the deer chili. I made the deer chili last week. Tom said he wanted some.
He did. We made a lot of food over here. He didn't get around to it, but the type of guy Tom is, he's like, freeze that. I'll be back in 2 weeks. And once again, I'm like, damn, really? 2 weeks? That's quick. But can you make that dolphin noise? Can you recreate that dolphin
No,
noise?
I'm not.
Come on, you got it, Dan.
Whatever.
I'm on the Dolphins. I'm on the Dolphins as well. I like the momentum they have going, especially on the defensive side of the ball. We're both on the Dolphins, given the 4.5 points. The next game on the board, the Indianapolis Colts, who are 6-6, they travel to Houston to play the 2-9 Houston Texans. They're big favorites. They're 9-point favorites in this game. The over/under is 45.5. Indianapolis, they come off that really fun game that lost to Tampa Bay. That game going to overtime or not, or finish in regulation? I don't know, but Tampa Bay got a score regulation because Tampa Bay got a score super late, and then Indianapolis returned the ball.
Oh yeah, that
on
dude,
the kickoff.
yeah, the kickoff.
Like
yeah.
inexcusable shit
Yep.
for Tampa Bay. He returns the ball all the way to the Tampa 35-yard line, and when there's like 15 seconds left, so they got a couple, 2-3 shots at the end zone that didn't pan out for them. They end up losing that game to Tampa Bay. But they're certainly a good, balanced football team. They play pretty good defense. They have a really good run game, and Wentz.
Yeah, they have a really
well.
good run game, but they didn't use it.
They didn't use enough. They can't turn the ball over like they did. They had 5 turnovers against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last week. That did them in. You can't do that against good teams, let alone bad teams. Houston, there's not much to say about Houston. I don't know if Tyrod Taylor's going to play. I don't know why they just don't play that Davis Mills kid the rest of the year and just see what they got. I mean, they drafted him in the 3rd round of the
Played
previous
Tyrod
draft.
last week and they won, didn't they?
They come off a loss to the Jets.
They lost to the Jets.
They lost
I
to
thought
the
they
Jets.
were winning.
They were early, and then
What the hell?
Then the Jets won the game like by a touchdown. They're 2-9. Obviously, they were going nowhere to start with, but I just don't see why. I mean, I think Tyrod Taylor's probably a better quarterback than Davis Mills at this point in time. But you drafted him early in the 3rd round because the Texans always draft early in rounds. You might as well see what you got. I mean, you got what 6 games left here or something like that. So I don't know who's playing quarterback.
Maybe they don't want him injured.
I mean, Indianapolis is a 9-point favorite in this game. They have a ton to play for. I mean, the AFC and the NFC wildcard races are wild. I mean, there's there's so much parity in the league this year that there's only a handful of teams that have been eliminated combined on the NFC and the AFC side. Indianapolis has a ton to play for. I'm going to lay the points with them -9 in their run game.
You're taking Indy?
I'm giving the points in Indy. I'm taking Indy, giving 9.
I'm taking Houston. I think Indy wins, but I don't think it's going to be by 9.
Dan likes the points. With Tyrod Taylor, we'll see what happens in that game. I mean, like I said, we'll see when Houston shuts it down and their players seem not to care and things like that. But Indy has a ton to play for. I'm going to lay the big line with them. Next game on the board, NFC North battle. It is the Minnesota Vikings going to play Detroit. Minnesota's been installed as a full 7-point favorite in this game. Over/under is 46.5. Minnesota comes off that loss against San Francisco. By the way, they're 5-6. The Detroit Lions are 0-10-1. Minnesota's in that mix too for the wild card game. I mean, this team right here. I mean, they could beat anybody, Minnesota, and they can lose to anybody. Frankly.
Well, Dalvin Cook's out.
He is out. I mean, they have a quality backup in Alexander Madison. I think he's a very good player. Cousins been playing pretty good ball. They have an absolute star wide receiver in Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a crazy good playmaker. Thielen on the other side of the field, on the other side of the hashes. I mean, they got a good offensive team. Detroit comes off their loss on Thanksgiving to Chicago, a game that I don't think anybody probably enjoyed watching. I think the Bears won that game 16-14 besides fans of Chicago and maybe Detroit.
What do you mean I watched that game? It was
Yeah,
the
because
first
it was
one
on.
that was on.
The only one that was on, right? Minnesota's -7. Once again, this is a game where Minnesota's a ton to play for. Detroit doesn't. Is it going to influence the line? Is it going to be a close game?
What's the status of that running back for Detroit?
I think so. DeAndre Swift, I think, is who you're speaking
Yeah.
of. He's got a AC joint, a shoulder injury.
Ooh.
I don't
shoulders.
think he's going to play. I don't know if it matters. I'm going to lay the points on this game too. I mean, the theme of my kind of picks so far is going to be teams that, and we've seen a couple of contests here right now where the opponent's out of it, and the other team's playing for their playoff lives. And I like that motivation. I'm going to lay the full touchdown with the Vikings.
I'm going with Minnesota on this one too.
Another shitty game on the board as we continue this theme is the Philadelphia Eagles playing the New York Jets. I don't think they reside very far from each other. Philadelphia is 5-7. The Jets are 3-8. Philadelphia is a 6.5-point favorite, just under the 7-point touchdown line. Philadelphia comes off a bad loss against the New York Giants. I was high on that team, and my buddy Bill Dean, who watches the show, he's a law school classmate of mine, and he lives in that area, and he's always been a big Eagles fan, and he would comment, "Run, Eagles, run." He loved the running game, and then I tell you what, they should have won the game. They really should have. Jalen Reagor, if I'm an Eagles fan, I'm wildly pissed. He missed a deep ball down the sideline that was right in his hands that could have influenced the game. Would have been a touchdown. And then, I want to say it was a 4th down play, and it was super late in the game, less than 30 seconds, and Hurts found him at the goal line. I don't know if he was in or if he was at the half-inch line or a half-yard line, whatever you want to say. He 100% should have caught the ball. They should have found a way to win that game. They didn't. Jalen Reagor is certainly a GOAT, and I don't know how long his tenure is going to last there with that type of receiver play. Jets. Let's talk about the Jets. Jets won. They won a game. Zach Wilson played in the game. And I don't know if he played well or not. I saw him throw a ball off a dude's helmet he wasn't looking. He looks like he's good at dodgeball. Or better than football. But Jets are the Jets. That was Wilson's first win. Congratulations to Zach Wilson. That's the first time he's tasted victory. So Philadelphia minus 6.5 once again. They're 5-7. Jets are 3-8. What do we think?
Philly. Run the ball. Jets defense stinks, which is surprising because Saleh was an defensive coordinator, but that's easy to do when you have number 1 picks. I could have been the defensive coordinator of the 49ers.
Money's good in college football. I don't know about pro football, but we'll talk about the coaches and the money probably in the collegiate section of the show. I'm going to go with the Jets. I hate it. I hate doing it. I'm going with the Jets getting the 6.5.
Paper airplanes, baby.
I haven't won with them yet. Have you won with them? We've both taken them on multiple occasions this year, and I don't know if I won with them yet. I need to find a way to win with them. I'm going to take them getting the point. I don't know. The Jet defense is okay. Zach Wilson played another game. More experience matters, I think. I'm hoping this is a close game, I guess. I'm on the Jets. Dan is on Philly. Next game out on the board, the Arizona Cardinals, who are the 1 seed currently in the NFC. They are 9-2. They come off bye. They travel to Chicago to play my Chicago football Bears. The Bears are 4-7 on the year, not eliminated at all. They're only really 1 game out of the wild card race at 4-7. They have a daunting schedule coming up. They have Arizona and then back it up with Green Bay in Green Bay. But they come off that Thanksgiving Day win against Detroit. Like I said, Arizona comes off bye. They get Kyler Murray back and D-Hop back this week. Obviously, they are the pieces that really make that offense go.
Yeah, but I heard Kyler Murray tweaked his ankle again today at practice.
I did not hear that. That's good news for my Bear football team. We don't know who's playing quarterback for the Chicago Bears. On Thanksgiving, Andy Dalton played because Justin Fields fractured ribs in the Baltimore game. We're a couple of weeks removed from that. He participated in practice today on a limited basis. He threw the ball. So we'll know a lot more tomorrow in regards to who's going to be the starter. And Matt Nagy has said that if Fields is healthy, he's going to go. We'll see how it shakes in this game. I don't know. My guess is it's going to be Dalton. I would be surprised if Fields.
Ribs hurt when you throw. Ribs hurt when you get sacked. Their offensive line, your offensive line is not that good. So he's going to get hit.
And Bears are beat up a little bit.
He might start, but I don't know if he finishes.
The Bears' best defensive player, Roquan Smith, probably is not playing this game either. Arizona's -8 in this game, Dan. What do you think?
Oh, now that Roquan Smith isn't playing, I'm taking Arizona.
I'm going to go with the Bears, and I know they obviously go with the Bears. They have a lot to play for. So does Arizona. There's no two ways about that. These become elimination games for my football Bears. I like them to keep this game close. It would be amazing if they came out with a win in Soldier Field. I don't know if that's going to happen, but I'm going to go ahead and take the point since it's more than a touchdown. Bears getting 8 for me. Dan is giving the 8 with the Cardinals. Next game on the board, a fun football game. I think
It's still a 1 o'clock game?
we are still in the 1 o'clock slate.
They're at Cincinnati. Wow,
The
man.
Los Angeles Chargers travel to Queen City, Cincinnati. The Chargers are 6-5. Cincinnati is 7-4. The Chargers come up a loss to Denver. Cincinnati comes off a win against Pittsburgh. We're going to talk about both those games in a bit. Cincinnati's been installed as a 3-point favorite in this game. I think it's going to be a shootout. 50.5 is the over-under in this game. I still like the over before we even talk about who we think is going to win this game or cover this game. The Chargers. I watched a little bit of the Denver game because I bet it personally. And they couldn't stop the run against Denver was the problem. And Herbert kind of throwing the ball all over the place. He threw a bad pick fairly late in the game. I don't know what's going on with that. They look a little disjointed on offense. Cincinnati's got it humming again. I mean, humming. They absolutely destroyed Pittsburgh.
Destroyed. But I don't think Pittsburgh's that good, to be honest.
They're not that good. And Ben's old, and that whole thing needs to be redone.
They don't run the ball well.
They don't.
Mean, they're dumb. I love Tomlin, though. I mean, his comments on
He's fantastic.
Oh, my God.
He's fantastic.
Classic.
Chase Claypool, I sent the comment on Twitter. I don't know if that's what I'm referring to, but he comes up with great comments all the time, like Mike Vrabel does. But Chase Claypool, their wideout, said that he thought they should have some music at practice. Yeah. And
tool bag.
And Mike Thomas said, "We'll let Chase Claypool play wideout. I'll make the decisions in practice." I think that's a fair apportionment of of duties and things like that. So that was him.
Well, he had other comments too about, hey, we got our butt kicked and we need to smell the stink, and you got to live with it because this is I just love what comes out of his mouth. It's so much better than the Stefanski's press conference is the same. What is this, week 13? Mm-hmm. It's the same damn thing every week
Monday.
Out of his mouth.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm going to go back to the press conferences when they were losing in September, and they said, oh, it's a long season. We got a lot of games left. Well, you're still losing, and we don't have a lot of games left. Right. And you're saying the same shit over and over again. Tomlin, hold your team accountable. Arians, hold your team accountable. Vrabel.
Yeah, those are great
Call
coaches.
these freaking guys out and quit being a sissy.
That's right. The Claypool comment was an eloquent way of saying shut the fuck up. I run the team.
Exactly.
All right.
We should have music.
Cincinnati's -3 in this game.
Bring that up to your therapist.
Cincinnati, I mean, they can't stop the run, the Chargers, and Mixon's having a great year. He's a physical runner.
Showing up.
If you ask me, Cincinnati's like that dumb, cocky kid who doesn't know any better right now because they're not used to winning. I mean, they're just flying high and playing football. I mean, I like what's going on there. I'm going to lay the points with Cincinnati. I love this game.
I'm taking the Chargers.
Are you really? Why?
Yeah. It's just...
Because the National Football League is crazy?
Well, 1 week a team plays great, and then the next week they look like shit.
If they were ready...
And here we go. I mean, here's one that looked like shit and one that looked like great. So, it's insane.
Just a rematch of that I don't think it was called the Ice Bowl, but I remember when it was the San Diego Chargers. It was Dan Fouts and that high-powered offense, and they went in to play Cincinnati. I want to say Chris Collinsworth was a receiver and Kenny Anderson was a quarterback and things like that. I mean, it was wicked cold. I forget who won that game, but do you remember what I'm talking about? Like,
no.
I mean, anytime anybody would say a word, there would be a huge puff of steam that came out. It was so cold. I don't know why I went there, but anyway, I'm on Cincinnati. Dan, inexplicably, after I argued the whole way about how Cincinnati should win this game, took the Chargers. But that's the way the National Football League has went this year. The last of the 1 o'clock football games is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
You were 4-11. Do you think I'm going to listen to you?
Shit, I know. The horns are coming out next week. Next week, with the page, the calendar page has been turned to December. The horns were a tradition that we started last year. They will come out. We'll see. You will know immediately as to who had a better week, Dan or I, next week when you tune in.
I don't think I had to wear those last year.
Get the hell out of here. I had a bad late part of the season, but I don't think that's true. I did wear them a lot. Fuck. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They are 8-3. They travel to play Atlanta. Atlanta's 5-6. Tampa, we mentioned them earlier. They came off that win against Indianapolis, which was a crazy back and forth game. They were down early, and that offense is pretty clinical and awesome with Tom Brady. But they are huge 11-point favorites going down to the ATL. Atlanta comes off a win against Jacksonville. They're 5-6. They do not hold the last NFC wild card spot anymore. I forget who it belongs to. I know they got edged out.
They're going to keep getting lower and lower because Tampa Bay is going to whip their ass this weekend.
Oh, it goes to the Washington football team right now. Washington football team, believe it or not, has the last wild card spot right now. Atlanta had it before the Monday Night Football game where the Washington football team beat Seattle. But obviously they're in the mix for the NFC wild card race. Tampa, once again, minus 11, 50 points. That's a lot of points to expect in this game. Atlanta controlled the game against Jacksonville kind of from the start, and they used their Swiss Army knife, Cordarrelle Patterson, to run the ball, catch the ball. He's a huge weapon for them. They're still in it. Tampa's got this clinical offense and a very worrisome defense that is very leaky. That's a big number, 11, Dan.
I'm taking Tampa.
Still thinking. I don't know. I don't want to give it. They're gonna blow them out. Tampa minus 11. I'm going with it too. I think they're gonna blow them out. I do. 4 o'clock slate starts with the Jacksonville Jaguars traveling out to LA to play the Rams.
Wow.
Jags are 2-9 on the season. The Rams are 7-4. The Rams are monster favorites in this game, 13-point favorites. The over/under is 47.5. We just mentioned Jags coming off their loss at home to the Atlanta Falcons, where they were out of the game. They don't have any playmakers on that team at all that I can see. Nobody scares anybody on the offensive side of the ball for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, let's talk about the Rams, who I thought was a really good football team. They're a
mess.
Getting beat up in Green Bay with a hobbled Aaron Rodgers. Their offense is really struggling. That's 3 losses in a row for the Los Angeles Rams.
And they have Odell, so that should have fixed everything. But
I like the Van Jefferson kid who continues to emerge. I mean, he's getting more and more, not playing time, but catches. Stafford does seem a little banged. He seems a little off. I mean, he didn't look great in Green Bay. And he's played there plenty of times. He wasn't influenced by the weather or anything like that. He's played in plenty of cold weather situations. It's not like, hey, I'm an LA guy now. I can't play in cold weather. That's not the case. But he may be banged up. I don't think they're disclosing a lot. That happens with quarterbacks in the National Football League where they're banged up and people don't let them know, because then obviously the defensive lineman will just go after that part of the body, if you will. This is a big number. Are they going to right this ship and win this game by 2 touchdowns?
I think they do, just because of the defense. Jacksonville's offense is awful.
This is fucking awful.
And the Rams' defense is still good. And
they didn't look good. I mean, they didn't look good against Green Bay. I mean, I know Green Bay has a prolific offense.
Different.
I know.
I mean, you're playing Aaron Rodgers in that offense and the coach, and this is Jacksonville.
I'm going to go with Dan. I think coming off 3 losses, I think they're going to take their frustration out on the Jacksonville Jaguar football team and absolutely destroy them. I like this to be a big number win for the Los Angeles Rams. Dan and I are both giving the boatload of 13 points. The Washington football team, this is a fun game too. They travel to Las Vegas to play the Raiders. The Washington football team, as I just mentioned earlier, are 5-6 on the year and do possess a 7th wildcard seed. If the playoffs started today, they're in. They would play Arizona. Who knows what would happen? The Raiders are 6-5. They're certainly in the mix, and they're not even out of that AFC West, type of thing. They come off a huge Thanksgiving win against Dallas. Let's talk about Washington first, though. By the way, the Raiders are minus 2.5 in this game, just short of a field goal. Over/under is 49.5. The Washington football team comes off that win on Monday night against Seattle, where Seattle got a very late touchdown. I thought they got the onside kick. It turns out they had a bad formation on the onside kick. Did you stay up for it?
No, I didn't see that.
They got the onside kick, but they had lined up inappropriately. Somebody had to be outside the hashes or some shit. I don't know. It didn't influence the play at all. I didn't know the rule, and I know a lot of rules. In any event, they won. Their defense is playing better, the Washington football team.
And I'm glad you brought that up, because the crew, Monday Night Crew, one of those morons interviewed Jack Del Rio. And his comment was, well, we have a lot of individuals that were more worried about playing their individual style. And as soon as he
Does
said
that point at Chase Young?
that's what I thought. How many times?
I don't
How many
know.
times have I said make that kid play defensive end and rush the passer and play that? No, he's standing up. He's doing stuff. So is he freelancing over there? And they're just don't have the ability to control him. But their defense does look so much better.
It's played considerably better over the last couple to 3 weeks.
Ever since he's been out.
They've won. Washington football team's won 3 games in a row and put
And when
themselves
did he
right
get
in the
hurt?
middle of this.
3
Probably
weeks
right
ago.
Probably right around there. I'm not going to bang on Chase Young too much. I think he's a great player.
I don't know. I complained about it last year. What the hell is he doing?
Well, isn't that coaching? No, I mean I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean Raiders come off a thrilling win against Dallas. That Chicago at Detroit game on Thanksgiving Day was a clunker. The Raider game in Dallas was absolutely entertaining. It certainly was. There was scoring back and forth. It was a huge win for them. There were fights. There was all kinds of cool shit
Yeah,
that
that was
happened.
awesome.
I mean, Carr's playing well. Derek Carr is playing great football. Do you know he leads the National Football League in passing yards right now? I mean, it's a stat. I mean, it's not the end-all, be-all of quarterback play, don't get me wrong. The Raiders are minus 2.5. Who's going to win this game?
Raiders.
I think so, too. It's 2.5. Short enough for me. I like the offensive firepower. I don't know if Darren Waller's playing or not. I know he went out in the Dallas game. Was it Dallas game, was it? Thanksgiving? He's getting a little blurry. We're both on the Raiders minus 2.5 in a very important football game for both those teams. Dan's division is up next. It is the Baltimore Ravens, who are 8-3, traveling to their nemesis, the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are 5-1. Baltimore's a 4.5-point favorite in this game. The under/over is low at 44. Baltimore, they won against Cleveland. Dude, I have no idea how Baltimore's won these games lately.
I don't know. Yeah,
They
look
win
awful.
very ugly. I mean, it's not pretty what's going on in Baltimore. I know they've won a couple of games in a row. I mean, they came off that that Thursday night performance where they got smothered by the Dolphins, and then they went into Chicago, and they ended up winning that game at the buzzer. I mean, Chicago's not a great football team. And then they win the game against Cleveland without a very good performance as well. I mean, I want to say they had 5 turnovers.
4 interceptions, and we don't turn any of that into points.
Right. They turned the ball over 5 times in
They play
total.
crappy. We play crappy.
Yeah, I mean, your Browns team, I can't wait to talk to them when they get back on the board next week. They got some work to do, and I still like that football team. I mean, don't let that Brown football team in the playoffs come wintertime if they get the running game going. But anyway, that's a whole nother story. The Steelers, they come off of an absolute beatdown where they were not in the game from the gate in Cincinnati. I mean, Cincinnati went down the field and scored. They took the ball away from Pittsburgh on interceptions. They had pick sixes. I mean, it was an absolute blowout. It was a party like in the middle of the second quarter going forward for the Cincinnati revelry in the stands. I mean, they won that game going away and absolutely demolished the Steelers. Ben looks old. I mean, that was an embarrassment. I mean, what's going to happen in this game? Baltimore's a 4.5-point favorite. Both these teams aren't playing well.
This is a 4 o'clock game?
It is.
They're not playing well. And
It hurts Dan's heart to pick this game.
I'm taking the Steelers. There's no way in hell I'm taking the Ratbirds. And I think the Steelers beat them.
Wow. I'm surprised you said that. I'm taking the points as well. I had looked at the game. I thought you were going to take Baltimore.
Hell no.
These teams play close games. Neither team's playing well. Not good enough to be giving large chunks of points to arch rivals.
Again, the Steelers got their ass kicked. I told Tomlin's pissed. They're going to come out fired up. This is a rivalry game. This is to the Pittsburgh people. This is more of a rivalry than Cleveland is.
I believe it.
Just because Cleveland sucked for so long.
Right. It was the fact that Pittsburgh and Baltimore were really good football teams during that Ed Reed era with, Ray Lewis. And then you're talking about, who was that other guy that Oh, Terrell sucks on that defensive side of the ball and Ben was in his prime, and they were a good offense, and Antonio Brown and all this other stuff was going on.
Yeah.
It was like offense versus defense. They played some awesome, fun football games to watch. It's a huge rivalry. I love the points. Dan likes the Steelers on the money line in this game. Take that one. All right, the next game on the board
I got to pee. You can talk about this one.
All right, the San Francisco 49ers are 6-5. They travel in division. That's good. Yeah, it's a shitty day out here. It's not really terribly cold. It's like the mid 40s or low 40s, but rain. And November or December rain, I think Guns N' Roses made a song about November rain. But December rain sucks too. I mean, that shit's cold and nasty. We had it like somewhat all day. San Francisco 6-5 in division. They go out to Seattle. Seattle's 3-8. San Francisco's 3.5-point favorites in this game. San Francisco comes off an awesome win against Minnesota. I wouldn't say awesome win, but they won the game against Minnesota in a very highly contested game that came down the wire. San Francisco's won 3 straight football games. They're right there in the mix of these playoffs. They lose their big weapon, their Swiss Army knife, Deebo Samuel, who seems to get like 6 to 8 carries a week and catches balls as well. His primary position is wide receiver. He's out for a week or two. I want to say it's a hamstring or a groin. I don't know which it is. Seattle. I mean, I don't know what's going on there. I mean, a loss on Monday night against the Washington football team. The offense looks putrid. I mean, Russell Wilson's been back for multiple weeks, and they can't put up points. They just can't put up points.
They rushed him back.
I mean, the offense is dismal. I think Carroll's probably out after this year.
One of them's going to be out.
I mean,
either the quarterback or him. There's some dysfunction going on.
What the hell's going to happen here? San Francisco minus 3.5.
Well, I'm worried. I heard what you said. Deebo Samuel's out, and who's the receiver that's out
for
San Francisco?
I don't know. They have.
I thought
he is the wide receiver. He runs the ball and is the wide receiver. I mean, he's like the whole freaking offense. I mean, obviously they have Kittle as a wide receiver. I forget who their off wide receiver is. Deebo Samuel is their primary wide receiver, but also gets like 8 carries a week in the backfield. I don't know. They're humming along. They've won 3 straight, like I said. I mean, Seattle's a difficult place to play. It's in division. It makes me nervous that Seattle's going to rear its head at some point in time. But that offense has been so shitty for the last few weeks.
It's bad. I mean, even you can see the frustration on DK, who's turned into OBJ.
He doesn't get the ball.
Yeah.
He's not getting the ball.
Did his dad send an email?
No, I don't think so.
Or a video?
I don't know who dad. I'd like to see his dad. I wonder if he's stacked like that DK guy is. Holy shit. That would make me nervous. I'm taking Seattle on the points. I hate it.
Me too.
Really?
Yeah, they're at home, and they were embarrassed.
It's the division thing. Yeah. Usually we get great games. We're on the Sunday Night Football. Usually we get great games on Sunday Night Football, and I don't think it's a great game, but it's an AFC West game. It's the Denver Broncos, who are 6-5. I guess it's a great game based on records. Denver's 6-5. They travel to Arrowhead to play Kansas City, who's 7-4. Kansas City comes off bye. They're full 10-point favorites in this game. Wow. Over/under is 47. Denver comes off a win against the Los Angeles Chargers, where all of a sudden the defense looks really good again. I mean, they really held the Charger offense in check. The quarterback play is ho-hum in Denver with Teddy Bridgewater. They got weapons. They should be better on offense than they are, if you ask me, on paper, with the weapons that they have. But Kansas City, they're playing a lot better too. They're up by.
I heard a stat today too that Teddy Bridgewater's up there in numbers.
Up there in numbers of what?
I can't remember what it was.
Numbers of what? Interceptions?
Completion percentage?
Oh, God. I don't know.
He's one of the top ranked in something.
Kansas City minus 10 in this game, off by. The defense has been better.
Not really. I'm taking Denver because I don't think Kansas City is going to win by 10. Kansas City will win, but I don't think it's by 10.
I think Kansas City's right to ship. I like them to blow out Denver in this game. I'm going to give the 10. It's because their defense has been better. It's because they're coming off bye. They know that, they're probably going to make the playoffs, but they're not necessarily going to win that division. But, I mean, playoff positioning is a big deal. I shouldn't even talk about motivation because Denver's completely motivated in this game, too. I mean, if they somehow win this game, they're potentially tied for first in the AFC West, which is kind of crazy. Although I remember me talking about that week 1.
Yeah, no, you like
How
Denver
that-
and
I
Vic
like-
Fangio and the defense.
Yeah, and how the Chiefs aren't going to run away with this thing and be the 1 seed because the competition has stepped up in the division.
Right.
And it certainly has. Denver stepped up their game.
Yeah.
The Raiders have stepped up their game, and certainly an emerging Chargers team,
Yeah, it's
at
like
least
our
under
division.
Herbert. So yeah, I mean, it's tough. I mean, week in, week out, when you play division foes, I'm going to give the full 10 points with the Kansas City Chiefs. On the Monday Night Football, the New England Patriots is a great football game, man.
This is the best
This should
game
be
of
on
the weekend.
Sunday night. I wish it was on Sunday as opposed to Monday. Maybe I'll try to get a little more shut-eye than I normally do on Sunday night so I can stay up for the entirety of this game. But it is the New England Patriots who are 8-4. They go into Buffalo, who is 7-4. So Buffalo has not had their bye yet. Byes are so late. I can't believe there's byes next week. Buffalo is 2.5-point favorites in this game. The over/under is 43.5. New England comes off that win against Tennessee. The formula hasn't changed. Mac Jones played great in that game. I watched a chunk of it. Obviously, the Bears had played on Thursday. I watched a chunk of that game. Mac Jones looked great. There was a lot of play-action passes, and it wasn't just built off of the run. I mean, there was some drop-back plays and things like that. He's a very accurate passer. Buffalo, they come off an absolute dismantling of New Orleans on Thursday night, Thanksgiving night. Buffalo's 2.5. The division's up for grabs here in regards to this. Whoever comes out of this game is going to have a strong hand in regards to winning the division going forward. What do you think? This game should be flexed, by the way.
I want to take Buffalo on this one. I mean, New England's been playing great. Their defense is good. The offense is surviving because of the defense. The kid doesn't make mistakes. He's not turning the ball over. I mean, shit. Buffalo can't run the ball to save their ass.
You're making lots of arguments for yourself.
I know.
Who are you going
But New England,
But-
it's just, that's too many wins in a row here. And they're
That is 6 wins in a row
I
that the
know.
New England Patriots have reeled off.
And, part of that is the master Belichick. Who are they playing? Young coaches and stuff.
Dude, Mac Jones has been impressive.
Yeah, he has been. I mean, he fits perfect in that system, and that coaching staff has done it right, and they call the right freaking plays. Stefanski.
Matthew Judon, the defensive end for the Patriots, makes splash plays week in and week out.
Yeah. The linebackers are solid. The DBs.
We got a lot of college games to talk about. Where you going? I'll go if you want.
Buffalo.
Me too. I was going that way. Buffalo minus 2.5. I like them to take control of this division going forward. I think they righted the ship. The defense has been playing better. It looked good in New Orleans on Thanksgiving night. The line is short enough to me. I like the Bills a lot in this game. On bye this week, the Carolina Panthers, Cleveland Browns, Green Bay Packers, and the Tennessee Titans. It is time for Elephant Picks. There's always a delay in this because I never think about it ahead of time. But here we go as I scan the board. I like Cincinnati to beat the Chargers by a field goal or more.
Really? Because I was going to take the Chargers over Cincinnati.
Let's do it.
That's so
Let's
freaking
do
funny.
it. That's horns right there.
Yeah. All right.
That's horns right there. You really you like?
Yeah.
Do you like the Chargers to win that game?
Yeah. Yeah.
You like the Chargers to win that game?
Yep.
Or is it just because you're a Browns fan you want the Bengals to lose?
No.
I don't know how.
My analytics.
Watch it. The analytics. Watching the sieve that is the Chargers defense against the run and how well Mixon's running the ball. I love the Bengals. Hootie!
Get
All
out
right.
of here.
All right. We have a fantastic college football slate. It's conference championship week. Here we go. That's become somewhat of a tradition. The first game, and then we got 4 games on the board. The 4 games that will influence the 4 teams in the playoffs. The first one starts at noon. It is the Baylor Bears, who are 9th ranked, playing the Oklahoma State Cowboys. They're 5th ranked. Oklahoma State's minus 5.5 in this game. It is the first of the games. It starts at noon. It is on ABC. It will be played in Jerry's World of Dallas. I'm impressed by Oklahoma State's defense, although Oklahoma did pretty well against them. I mean, Baylor's got a pretty formidable offense. Obviously, Oklahoma State has everything in the world to play for here. Minus 5.5. What's going to happen in this game?
Wow. I don't know a lot about these two teams here. Very little defense. You don't have the over and under on this? No.
I did not put it on the board.
Who did Baylor beat? Didn't they beat Oklahoma?
Probably. They're 9th ranked. They've had some quality wins. I think I'm going to take the lead. I think Oklahoma State covers this number of 5.5.
I do too. I'm going there.
They got so much motivation. I mean, there's probably something is going to happen in that game involving the 4 teams in front of them. We're both on the Cowboys minus 5.5. The AAC championship is another conference championship that probably nobody thought that would probably be influenced the playoff as we come down to it, but it does. It is the Houston Cougars, who are 21st ranked, playing the Cincinnati Bearcats, who are currently in the 4-hole, meaning just in the playoffs. As far as the AAC championship, they do not play at a neutral site. The team with the better record has home field. It would be, I think it's called Nippert Stadium in Cincinnati. Yeah, they got home field.
Wow.
They're a big favorite at 10.5 in this game, Dan.
Houston has to.
It's on ABC. It starts at 4 p.m.
Yeah, nice. Drinking all day. I'm going with Cincinnati on this one.
I think Cincinnati's going to cover the number 2. It's going to be an absolute raucous crowd. I have no idea where game day is this week, but my guess is.
Oh my God, they got to be at.
I guess it's at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, which is the SEC championship game. They are the host. It also starts at 4 p.m. The 3rd-ranked Alabama Crimson Tide come to town. It's not in Athens, but it's in Atlanta. The all season number 1 ranked Georgia Bulldogs. They are 6.5-point favorites in this game. Georgia brings an elite defense to the table. Alabama has played close games throughout this season.
Close.
They should have lost the Iron Bowl to Auburn. I have no idea how that happened.
Totally should have lost. And how does Georgia have an elite defense? Because they haven't played shit. Who have they played?
Georgia?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who have they played to call that an elite defense?
And I got into a pissing contest with my brother-in-law, Teddy.
The SEC's that good. Blah, blah, blah.
I got into a pissing contest. It started on Saturday afternoon when Ohio State lost to Michigan. He knows I'm a Notre Dame fan, but he started railing on the Big Ten about I can't respect a team like that that plays in such a shitty conference, blah, blah, blah. He's being an SEC honk. I fired back a little bit. He didn't like it. He took it personally. I think I got called a tool at one point in time. What happened was I called the Georgia offense average. And he got pissed about it. I still think they're average because they get short fields all the time because their defense is so damn good. The defense for the other team is on the field all the time because Georgia's defense is so good. They do bring an elite defense in this game. I tell you what, I saw Bama's offensive line not be able to handle Auburn at all. I don't know how they're going to handle the Georgia defensive line. I think this is a 2-touchdown game. I think the Georgia Bulldogs are going to win this game handily.
I do too.
Damn, we're on. And here we go, the Big Ten Championship game. It starts at 8 p.m. It is the 13th ranked Iowa Hawkeyes playing the Michigan Wolverines. Michigan has vaulted to number 2 after their very, very impressive win against the Ohio State Buckeyes, where they flat out ran the ball down their throat is what happened. They are huge favorites in this game, 11-point favorites against the Iowa Hawkeyes. This game is played in Indianapolis. It is on Fox at 7 or 8 p.m. I know what I think is going to happen in this game, but I'll just tell you, it's a big number.
I'm taking Iowa because that number is too big.
I think it's too big as well.
For these two teams.
I can't tell you how impressed I was with the Michigan run game. With, I want to say it's Gaskins and Corum, maybe. But, I mean, Ohio State knew they were going to run the ball, and they couldn't stop it still. I mean, they just ran the ball down their throat, especially in the second half. It was an impressive win. There's no love lost between the Ohio State Buckeyes and the Michigan Wolverines. It reared its head. I, too, like Iowa to keep this game competitive. I like it to be one of those, like, not exactly fun game to watch, but one of those slobber knocker games where, you know, it's ground and pound and who can establish the run
Iowa's
game.
defense. I've always liked Iowa plays good defense.
So huge coaching
11
carousel. Huge coaching carousel. Obviously, you know Dan and I are both Notre Dame fans, and Brian Kelly left for LSU. The money that's getting thrown around is insane. I'm fine with Brian Kelly leaving. What I hate about the situation where Brian is the timing of it. I think it cost Notre Dame the 5th ranked position as opposed to the 6th ranked position because Oklahoma State vaulted them. Last week, Notre Dame was ranked ahead of them. The previous week, I know Notre Dame absolutely destroyed Stanford. They couldn't have showed any better. Oklahoma State won a very competitive game against Oklahoma, but I don't think it's enough to put them over this unless Notre Dame no longer has a coach going forward into the
What was the
playoffs.
final when Georgia played Georgia Tech?
45-0.
What was the final when Notre Dame played Georgia
55-0.
Tech?
Teddy doesn't like that argument at
Who's
all.
stellar got the offenses? Yeah.
Here we go. They haven't let it go, but it's
Interesting.
the holidays.
Very, very interesting. A
It is.
whole 10 points.
It is certainly the holidays. We'll see. I
Who's the
think
tool now?
I'll take two. I'm not afraid. I got a big mouth, but anyway, he got very bitter about it, very chapped about the situation. We'll see how it all shakes out. It's going to be a fantastic Saturday.
What's he going to do now when Brian Kelly's at LSU kicking Georgia's ass all the time?
Rubbing it in. Teddy's going to be ready to fight when he comes up here. We got to spar, Teddy. You get your ribs in shape. We do some body blows and things like that. The face is off limits, but Teddy and I have a tendency to spar, box out here on occasion when we get a little drinky during the holidays.
Nice.
Teddy, game on. Boxing match on for the holidays. That has been week 13 of On Top the Cage. Enjoy the football. It's going to be fantastic on Saturday. Hopefully the Sunday slate lives up to it as well. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening.
Thanks.